Hi guys, it's Damien again from the Brittlebox Candy Company. Real quick, this video is going to be about shipping internationally. When you start your business online and you are on the Etsy's, Amazons, and eBays, and you have a product, specifically, again, my videos are geared towards home-based businesses that are selling candies, chocolates, cakes, cookies, edible items that are made to be eaten. When you ship them internationally, there are some tricks about doing that for several reasons. Getting the product there safely is obviously the most important part of international order being, enjoyed by the customer, but making sure that it arrives not in pieces is a real trick. It has taken a few years for me to figure that out and to make that work. But I do have some tips on how to do it. We ship everything from chocolate covered pretzels to Singapore. I've shipped brittle to Dubai. I've shipped cake balls and truffles to Canada, and all of them arrived without any problems. It took a little bit of time to understand how that works. So this video is going to be a brief little how-to on how to do that. One thing you need to know about shipping internationally when it comes to food, candies, treats, whatever it may be, nuts, dried fruits, gift baskets. There is some restrictions on the USPS website, the postal website you can actually go to. They have some lists there for the countries that you're shipping to that you can check out before you ship. You need to get kind of familiarized with those if you're going to do this as a business and you're going to ship, allow yourself to ship worldwide. You need to be aware of what can and cannot be shipped. Most of the carriers, UPS, FedEx, USPS, they all have on their websites resources for you to go to find out what you can and what you can't ship into other countries. For the most part, I have not had really a lot of problems shipping the types of items that we make with candy and truffles, cake balls, cake pops and such. I haven't shipped any cakes internationally, except for like bundt cakes and things that don't have frostings on them and such, because you got to be aware those types of things don't ship good at all. It's best to stay within the U.S. for shipping cakes or those types of items. But when it comes to shipping like nuts, we ran into a couple of countries that do not allow nuts there. Now you got to understand, the customer that's buying from you, for the most part, the average person may not have an understanding that they cannot order something from outside the country and be brought in. They may not know that. So if you get a customer, let's say from South Africa, we've shipped to South Africa a few times. There was some items that the customer had purchased, and we weren't actually allowed to ship there with that specific product. So we simply emailed the customer and explained to them that we just can't, we're not allowed to do that. Had to refund the money. The transaction didn't go through, of course, because we had to cancel it. But in many cases, customers will not be aware of what they can and cannot order, and that's fine. Just drop them a note, send them an email, say, look, I apologize, you purchased this from me, but we're not allowed to ship it there. So in some cases, customers have been able to buy something else. So if it's an item that they can't really bring into the country, we can end up shipping them something new and something different that they are allowed to have. But you got to definitely spend some time getting familiar with what countries can and cannot have brought in. If you are starting this from scratch and you're not familiar with the list yourself, I've been doing this for about 6 or 7 years now, and I've been pretty familiarized with what you can and can't ship. If it's something that you can learn as you go. If we ship to Australia all the time, I had to initially go to the site and find out if there was anything in particular that I could not ship to Australia. So by getting orders online and checking to see if that product that you're selling is allowed or not, it's kind of a learning as you learn as you go type of thing. So just allow yourself to be open to learning that as well, because international orders can be great. The order that we got from Dubai was very, very large. So the gentleman ordered, I think, 10 pounds of candy, and that was the first time he had ever had it. But that order went great, and then that progresses, and then more orders come in, and people tell their friends. And when you get international orders, it's great because you also get international traffic on your websites, traffic coming from overseas looking at products that you may have. So, so yeah, so just be familiar with that and spend some time on the websites. It's not exactly the most exciting thing to research, but when you go to ups.com or the USPS sites, there's a very simple list. It'll show you on there. It'll walk you through it and tell you what you can and can't ship. And most of that is actually regulated by the countries that they're going to. It's not necessarily the USPS or the US allowing those things to go there. It's really the countries they're not allowing them to come into their countries. What I noticed was like nuts. It was really, really odd, but certain countries just don't allow nuts. They get them from big importers and such, but just shipping stuff there in onesie, twosie boxes, it doesn't happen that way. So just some tips again, because what happens when you do open yourself up to the world, really, online, there's a lot of other things that you may not understand or may not know is allowed and not allowed to happen. So just be aware of that, and as you go, you'll kind of pick up on what you can and can't do. The other thing is shipping internationally. When it comes to having your product arrive there safely, there's been a few instances, not too many, but a few instances that product that we shipped was kind of handled roughly and damaged and such. We kind of get around that by packing them very well. I'm going to actually make a few videos on how to pack a product to ensure it arrives safely. And you don't have to add a lot of weight to the shipping amount too, because that's something you need to think about as well. Is many of the products that we ship are around a 2 pound to 3 pound weight and can be shipped first class and actually arrive there is fine. The shipping costs are within reason when it's first class. When you start to go over, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 4 pounds. You go into the priority mail, things start to get expensive. You need to be aware of your shipping costs too. When you start to sell internationally, it's not just being shipped from one state to the next. It's going pretty far, and you need to make sure that you're charging for that shipping amount. Otherwise, any profit that you make on the product itself, you're going to lose in the shipping, and you're just, you're working for free. And I'm pretty sure you probably don't want to do that. So when it comes to the shipping weight and the destination of where it's going, you need to educate yourself on that as well. Again, all of this is stuff that I had to learn on my own. This has taken several years for me to get it all down, but now I know it, and I was wanting to do these videos because I've been asked through Etsy and many other of our e-commerce sites by customers who wanted to get in the business of doing this, but have never had anybody really kind of explain it to them, or they don't know where to start or know where to go. So that also brings me to my next point, that I have a book that I am writing that I am working on right now that will be available, and it's really just a resource book to tell you specifically how to start and operate and grow and run and build a business that is around candy, baked goods, and edible food products, everything from how to make them to how to ship them to how to sell them, how to market them, and everything else that comes along with it. So hopefully there are some people out there, and I'm sure there's a lot, they've been contacting me on how to do this, how to do that, and I will definitely offer as much advice as I can, And we are putting together a little booklet. I'm going to have it on an ebook platform and then also in a hardbound book that you can buy as well. And there'll be a lot of resources and stuff on there to help you out. Anything I can do to answer questions, I'll be happy to help. You just, of course, ask me a question down below or make a comment, and I'll be happy to respond as soon as I can. That's it for this one. Thanks, guys.